after the fact video here today. This one is again regarding the NC700X, and what it is the windshield issue. I had a Puig touring windshield on here, and this is it right here. And this windshield is pretty good, but it wasn't good enough for me. It's the problem is it's too narrow. This part right across here, I mean up here, this is the part that, you know, it's shielding your face pretty much from the wind, and it's so narrow that, you know, when I would ride, if my head was off to the side an inch or two, or if there was any kind of a crosswind, I was getting hit with a lot of wind that was coming off the edges of this thing, and it was really kind of ridiculous. And especially for what these things cost. I mean, they sell for about 120 bucks. So I decided to make my own. And what this is it's a piece of Lexan that I bought at Home Depot. And it just comes in a 24 by 18 square rectangle. I didn't cut it down. This is the full 24 inches from the top down to the bottom of the V here. So the first thing I did was to cut this shape out of it. I actually did not cut this part. I just cut the V in the bottom here, and I rounded the corners up here on the top, and then I bent it, and I'll cover the bending part in a minute. But and after I mounted it on here, then I saw where these handlebars were going to hit, and at that point I marked this and cut it out so the handlebars could go into full lock without hitting the windshield. And anyway, this is like I said, it's Lexan. I got it at Home Depot. It was $22. The thickness on this is 0.093 inches. Pretty thin. And Lexan, if you're not familiar with it, it's really strong material. It's supposed to be something like 250 times stronger than glass. But when you get a piece this thin, it will flex. And it flexed quite a bit in the wind. So I ended up mounting this piece of flat iron on here. I just got a piece of iron and cut it and bent it and painted it, drilled some holes in it, and I just screwed it on there. And that makes it quite a bit more rigid, and it's fine. I mean, I just was riding it yesterday. I had it up to 80 miles an hour in a headwind, and it was fine. You know, it will flex a little bit and kind of wobble like this when you're really in that much wind, but really it's nothing to worry about. It rides fine. However, if I was going to do it again, I might get a piece of acrylic, what's also known as plexiglass, rather than the Lexan, because you can get a sheet of that for about the same price that's thicker than this. And I forget the actual thickness of the acrylic, but it was at least twice as thick as this, and maybe a little more than that. And I think it was much more rigid. But I'm not really sure how that is to bend. Bending is probably the hardest part of doing this, and there's different ways to do it. I'll show you what I did over here. I built this little bending brake. It's got a 2x4, put it on the edge of my workbench with some door hinges, and see, I just screwed it on there with some deck screws. So if you look at this from the side here, as far as where to mount it, I've got it mounted so that the top of the 2x4 is almost level with the top of the workbench. So, okay. let's say I have the cardboard or the Lexan under here, and I want to bend it right about in position right about like this. So it's going to, the actual place where it's going to bend is going to be right about in the middle of this gap here, so right about there. And so I would bolt this piece of, first I get this positioned right where I want it, then I would bolt this this piece of plywood down to the table around the edges of the Lexan, or in this case cardboard, just to hold it down in place. And then put this straight iron on it, or angle iron, so it goes right about here, and then it's bolted down by with these lag bolts right through here, and that really holds it down well. And the reason I've got it this way instead of this this part coming up on this side is that when I bend the Lexan, it's got to go more than 90 degrees. So this has got to come up and go back like this. Otherwise, it will bounce back and it won't bend enough. So you get it in there like that. Then you put in your handles here, and you pull up on them. I'm just going to hold this down to show you how it goes. And when it comes up, it just bends it like that. And of course, it's moving now because I don't really have it bolted down. But when it's bolted down, that won't move. And it just bends it up like this, and you can bring it up about this far, and then when it bounces back, it will end up in a position about like this. You know, maybe I don't know what that is, a 15-degree bend, or 15, 20 degrees or something, I don't know. But, you know, good enough. So I just made 3 bends in the Lexan, doing it that way. One right in the middle, and then 2 more 3 inches from the edge. And I've just that gives it more stability. I mean, if it was flat, this thing would just bend right over in the wind. So the 3 bends like that will give it a lot of stability. But like I said, this is pretty flexible, so I added this bar just to give it a little more rigidity. And then I just mounted it. As far as determining the height, I knew about where the twig was, and I knew that was too low. So I mounted this in the, on this bike, there's 2 positions you can mount a windshield in. This is the low position, and then these little things here can be switched around, which will move it up, you know, I don't know, something like a ½ an inch or maybe a little more than that. But so I mounted it in the low position, got the bottom of it coming down right here by the headlight, and the top end then comes up to right here. And when I'm sitting on the bike, I'll show you how this is. So I'm going to put this right at my eye level, right here. That's my eye level, and that might look a little high, but when I'm riding it, it's really just about perfect, because I can see the road without having to look through the windshield. Okay, here's the twig, and so right up at the highest point, or you know, the part that's going to be deflecting the wind that's coming at my helmet, it is about 9½ inches at its widest, and at the top it's even less than that, about 9. So on this one here, it is at this point it's about 16¼ Yeah, it's just much better. Every little inch wide helps, you know, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I'm just going to give you a little demonstration of how this windshield works on the road. Keep in mind that the camera's mounted at probably a couple of inches higher than my eye level, so it's going to look like the windshield's a lot lower than what it really is to me, but anyway, you'll get an idea of how it flexes and that sort of thing. So we'll take off here and show you how it goes. Just about 55 miles an hour right now, and you see it just looks pretty much normal. The traffic's clear up here. We'll bring it up a little higher and so you can see how it goes. 65. Okay, now at 80. Yeah, just pretty much does fine. Like I said, even yesterday in the 80 miles an hour in a headwind, it was bouncing around a little bit, but it, you know, it's pretty sure this thing will take pretty much anything that you could throw at it. So I like it. Yeah, it wobbles around a little bit from that wind blast from that truck, but that really wasn't that strong. But yeah, it does fine. It's and now I've got my visor open, and really I've got no wind in the face. Really, I just feel a little bit of breeze around my nose, but I mean not much at all. And yeah, I mean, really I couldn't be happier with the way this turned out. It's really pretty nice. I tried riding without a windshield, and I used to do that a lot when I had other bikes before, but I just, anymore, the older I get, my ears are getting more sensitive to the noise, and I've got tinnitus, and it's really aggravating, the helmet noise with the wind hitting it. So I really wanted to get rid of that as much as possible, and this has done a pretty good job of it. So for $22 for a piece of Lexan and a little elbow grease, I think it worked out pretty good. All right, thanks for watching.